Well, joining us now, Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who is on the Judiciary Committee. Senator, thank you very much for being with us. First of all, your reaction to what you saw yesterday, how close you came, because all of you lived it, but you didn't have a 360 lens view, and that was the first time any of us, including yourselves, could see just how close you all came to the government being toppled.
Yeah, it was pretty stunning. And for those of us who work in this building, there's something very intimate about those pictures because we know those hallways. We recognize those corners. This is very much, in a known, familiar place. And it's particularly jarring to see those images. To me, the most stunning thing, however, was the emphasis that the House managers made on how long the physical combat between these assailants and the Capitol Police went on. This was not one encounter. This was hours of steady physical hand-to-hand combat with hundreds of injuries and some fatalities. And, you really got to come away with a lot of pride in our Capitol Police and Metropolitan Police for what they went through and how well they sustained.
Senator, you've prosecuted your share of cases. You were an attorney general, and then some. What do you think is left for this prosecution to do here when they finish up today? I mean, I know they probably don't need to persuade you anymore, but what do you think is missing? What do you think will be helpful if they're trying to find 17 Republican votes?
Well, they've been through what they called the provocation phase, which is the long effort by Donald Trump
Senator,
to tee
if you don't
this
mind,
up.
If you don't mind, yes. I hate to do this to you. We got some remarks from President Biden very brief. We want to get them out to people right now about the impeachment trial.
The hearing live because I was going straight through last night till a little after 9, but I watched some this morning. I think the Senate has a very important job to complete, and I think my guess is some minds may have been changed, but I don't know. Thank you very
much.
Senator Whitehouse, my apologies for that, but we wanted to play that out, and you heard he thought some minds were changed, so why don't I pick up on that? You know your Senate colleagues. I was sort of asking you what's left to change minds of the 17. What is left? What do you think is necessary to perhaps convince your Rob Portmans of the world?
Well, as I said, we've been through the provocation and recruitment stage. We've been through the chronicling of the incited attack on our Capitol building. And now we're going to be looking at what the harm was. And it's going to be, I think, the harm and the injury to individual officers. It's going to be all the way up to the international consequences of, foreign media mocking our American system of government because we allowed this to happen. And then I think they'll sum up their case. But at the moment, they've done such a powerful job that let's put it this way. If they were in front of a real jury, the defense would be coming for a plea.
Senator, I want to ask you about something you said last night and give you an opportunity to sort of clarify. Senators Cruz, Senators Hawley, you told Lawrence O'Donnell last night on our air that there may have been, shall we say, some I don't know, reluctance by some Republicans to create a delay long enough to allow that mob to make their way in. What did you mean by that? You weren't suggesting that some of your Republican colleagues were complicit, were you?
That is what the Senate Ethics Committee needs to look at. And I hope that they do a thorough job of looking into it, because we cannot count on the FBI and other investigative groups to look at the conduct of senators, because senators are protected by the speech and debate clause from a lot of investigation. So it's on us as the Senate to make sure we fully understand what our colleagues were up to. But when the president is calling a senator and asking him to delay further the legitimate process of certification so that the mob can interrupt that process, that's a pretty compelling statement by the President of the United States. And it opens a very important line of inquiry for the Ethics Committee.
You're talking about that phone call to Senator Tuberville?
Correct.
Is the Ethics Committee, Senator, launching an investigation into this? Or is this something that you think should happen?
They've been asked to. The letter has been received. 7 senators signed that letter. And as best I can tell, they're in the initial process of reviewing whether to open the matter and go forward with a full and formal investigation.
Well, the Ethics Committee used to be evenly divided by design, and it would have to, does this have to be a majority vote, or what would be the process for it to be approved?
It takes a majority, and the Ethics Committee remains evenly divided between Republicans and Democrats by design. And one hopes that the Ethics Committee will stand by its guns and do its duty and not allow partisan passions to veer it from that course.
Senator, what's the atmosphere like between the senators right now? I'm just curious of just how uncomfortable some of the relationships have become.
It's very, very mixed. I mean, we are seeing very strong memories replayed and very powerful imagery of very difficult events. And we're looking at a case that has been made very convincingly by the House managers of President Trump's role and guilt. And yet we're looking across the middle of the room at a great number of colleagues who simply refuse to be convinced for reasons well beyond the state of the evidence in the trial.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat, Rhode Island. Senator Whitehouse, thank you. Thanks as always for your time, sir. Do appreciate it.